Oh no. And you can link to my channel. Come on, how do I do this thing? How do I do this thing? Oh, yeah, baby. Mouse. Alright, get ready to do this thing. Okay. Sitting down. Hello, everybody. This is Christine Gender coming to you live from home once again. And this time we are doing something supercalifragilisticexpialidociously different. Something that actually was inspired to me from quite some time ago. Well, a few months ago, really. Finding a video of a certain fan fiction, as if the title of this video did not properly give it away. SNT Vs Sonichu. And in the original video I have watched, I want to give a shout out and appreciation to Courtney, Saki, and so bad at the third name. Why? 7 names. I keep forgetting the last one. It sounds like Elder, but yeah, I know you're a good guy. You did a pretty good voice. I'll put a link to the original video in the description below this one after I finish this live stream, and I will fix this little fashionable mishap where your bead fell on my ring. Let's hold on my crazy glue. I'll fix it later. Anyway, let's see what else. Doing that. Pretty much they got through all the way to the end of chapter 7. I applaud them very much for this. They have fun doing it, but also just the awkwardness, you know, they got as far as they did within the hours. Awesome, very awesome job, all of you, especially to Courtney, just putting up with all. Just I had lots of good favorite highlights from that video, that reading they did. Especially loved the moment where they were in chapter 6 and all of a sudden the special stage song plays, and so I go like, Jesus, no. At the end of it, essentially is like SNT challenging Courtney for real in that sense, and then
she totally did that very well. I'm Linus. Ignore the art and don't do what you're gonna do anyway.
And I'll do my best to voice everybody and the variations and how they're supposed to be. By the way, Wild Sonichu is not a country bumpkin, y'all. He's more like, Hi everyone, I'm Wild Sonichu. I'm typically kind of no, don't use that. Link it to this brain. I'm Wild Sonichu. I'm typically a cool guy. I just like enjoying things in the wild. I go do a bit of rough and tumble and whatnot. You all still have a lot to learn about us, and that will be caught up in filling the plot holes and all that. And of course, everything is seriously happening. I mean, if you had any idea what I've been through helping to fill Quickville lately, then you'd understand. Shame I don't have my father around. My father literally became a scizor. Yeah, oh well. Take care, y'all. I gotta go back to Simone and Sapina and Sandy. Hey, I'm used to channeling, so good stuff there. Also, just to note, I have been suffering through a bit of a cold. It was mainly centralized in my throat, so you hear me coughing a little bit, and that's why I had to deal with a cold. But at least I have plenty of lovely water to get me through this reading. I'm gonna have a sip right now. Lovely water on the rocks with amethyst and lightning strike quartz. And to save me having to go upstairs to refill this bottle. Hey, stop flopping around. Do it right. Surely. There you go. Reminder that I have psychic powers and abilities. As if that was not evident, those of you who could definitely see auras as clear and bright as day without having to try. Look at my aura. Whoosh. If you can see this aura, you can see Magic Chan Sonichu right here. And CwcvilleGuardian's right here. I love you, honey. I love you, hubby. Alright, let's do this thing. So, I'm going to just pretty much start at the last chapter they read off. And also, just remind everybody, I'm not reading commentary because I'm on the wrong side of the camera. I can't read commentary, but all donations are greatly appreciated, especially in the dollar amount. If we can get $200 out of this multi-hour stream, I would be very grateful for that. Pardon me. But essentially, I'm going to be starting from the beginning of Chapter 7. They read through Chapter 7, but I want to get down Magic Chan's voice. I want to make sure everybody knows this. Magic Chan sounds a bit like Samurai Jack. That is his voice tone. This is the way he sounds. He's very insightful indeed. He knows to meditate. I like to meditate too. I'm not channeling him. This is my vocal impression of Magic Chan right now. Gotta get back, Samurai Jack. So those, for future reference, my voice Magic Chan does sound like Samurai Jack. Alright, so the show so far on SNT Vs Sonichu, up to the beginning of Chapter 7, I believe SNT has 6 out of 7 Chaos Emeralds from this outing. She had been transported from her home dimension where everybody and everything exists. SNT's home dimension of C197. Literally where Kwikville, Sonichu's and Roshu's Pokemon, everything Disney, everything Marvel, everything DC, everything Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, everybody, everything, so forth. We're in the same dimension together. Unless those of us exist in an alternate timeline, which that is made obvious, like, being medieval times, or in an apocalyptic timeline. But that's a whole different kettle of fish right there. Anyway, so SNT ended up in this vastly different alt dimension, just very epically distant, where it's a literal sort of depiction of where this dimension is just an isolation of just everything Kwikville and so forth, among which is essentially pretty much just the east coast of the United States of America. That's as far as he gets. And then everywhere else is just unbeknownst to him. But anyway, so this distant dimension is just set literally within this Christian Weston Chandler's mental state and so forth. Just literally within their mind. Excuse me. So vastly different from my mind, and I know because I've literally talked with this Christian. Just he did bad things. He did number of things wrong, just for himself and and everybody within this. But aside going from details, so
SNT was a bit homicidal, killing off a bunch of Pikachus and whatnot. Not really. They just faint. They don't die.
Thumbs up if you like my SNT impression. Anyway, so there was that, and yeah, she fought Sonichu, Rosie, twice. One time when Rosie had mega evolved into her lioness form. And by the way, so everybody knows, when she goes hulkish like that, her clothes rip, and she does not like having her clothes torn to pieces, unable to put back on. That's why she disrobes herself before she transforms into this mega evolution of hers. Alright, this mega evolution Hulk state. I mean, would you want to lose your complete set of clothes by going Hulk like that? I would not. I know I would not. And let's see. What else happened there? So SNT gets lost in this distant dimension, trying to recall from the original timeline where she was traveling with Tails to Angel Island to stop Eggman once again. And she just ended up faithfully in this dimension with the help of, spoiler alert if you haven't read up to this point, by a Palkia that Dr. Eggman captures. Supposedly, but not in a traditional sense. He uses a dimensional device. And so SNT's been running around trying to get answers and remembering what happened to her before she ended up in this dimension. She really gets around even by faithful means, and she literally has been in Dark Dungeons and Dragons dimension of CS89. I was there recently too. I leveled up quick. Anyway, so this dimension just so essentially chapter 7. In chapter 6, she was running along the beach. She was trying to get back to Kwcville from the forest. She runs along the beach and she ends up battling a Pokemon trainer in his Gardevoir, and then battles against Sapina, has the epiphany moment and channels Courtney. Anyway, how stupid was the author to misspell her name? Well, apparently her name is Courtney now. If not, her name is Courtney.
It's like, well, that didn't sound like me at all.
No, apparently you say translates, and she doesn't even think about it. I love that part where Courtney was like, SNT says translates. She sounded so happy. I love that. But yes, SNT nowadays, she does know about translates, and she thinks about it. She's active in that. That's a whole different kettle of fish right there. But alright, so from chapter 7 onward, so we're reading to the end of chapter 12, and I might leave some parts out, and I'm definitely going to commentate along the way, so get ready for a good amount of reading, a fair story, and a decent amount of pretty good voice acting, but not to be boasting or anything. Alright, so SNT Vs Sonichu, Chapter 7, the 4-cent Egg Zone. So, SNT and Eggman stared at each other intensely.
What are you doing here?
Well, I didn't think you'd be here, SNT. I guess I could explain how I got here myself. Eggman looked up at the highest building, saw his own face, and smiled. Well, you see, after Sonic defeated me recently, I went to Angel Island to put my next plan into action. I was going to summon a goddess of space to transport me to another world where I could take over. It seemed perfect. Sonic would never follow me and couldn't stop me, but once I arrived, I was interrupted by you. SNT's memory was returning.
I remember.
SNT had been at the Angel Island base watching the robots prepare a portal. That was when Eggman had appeared in the area. Sonic! That blue nuisance is wrecking all my plans! Don't worry, though, I have a plan to move away to a different universe. SNT had been watching Eggman from a safe, hidden area.
Oh no!
Once this portal works with all the Chaos Emeralds in my hand, I will then attempt to travel through the multiverse and take over a new world without Sonic's interference. And I'll give myself multiple promotions! SNT sprang out from behind a column and attacked the villain's robots, causing many explosions. Eggman noticed the commotion. Also, just a comment. Pingus? Really? You took that from snooping as usual, I see. Y'all heard it, it's like, SNT. Snooping as usual, I see. One more time. Snooping as usual, I see. Mentioning this cold I am recovering from, I just need some water. How much water? Lots of water. Really good. Really aquatic. So anyway. Bandix! Get her! She was able to fight off the army of Badniks, but while she was occupied, Eggman switched on the machine. You're too late, SNT! I will soon escape to another world that will be mine to conquer. Just then, a white dragon suddenly appeared out of the portal, fixed his gaze on Eggman and roared, "Roar!" Oh, this must be the goddess of space. You shall listen to me, as I am the great doctor. Eggman's speech was cut short as the monster seized him.
Hey, put him down.
SNT tried to homing attack the dragon, but in the process she accidentally broke Eggman's machine, causing space itself to warp. The Chaos Emeralds were sucked into the newly formed portal as the dragon snatched SNT into the air. It held Dr. Eggman in one hand and SNT in the other, but only for a moment before it too was swept off its feet by the force of the portal behind it. SNT and Eggman were torn from the dragon's grasp as the hole in space devoured them all. The monster disappeared first. Eggman tried his hardest to hold on to his machine, but lost his grip, and he took hold of SNT's leg and said,
What are you doing?
SNT shrieked, trying to save herself. You caused this mess, and now I'm taking you with me, Eggman roared. Eggman was so heavy that SNT's hands could not maintain their grasp on the tank she was holding on to. They both fell into the multiverse, now losing each other, immersed in darkness, with only the stars and universe around them. That was when SNT passed out. Since we lost each other, I have made it a mission to take over this city. When you sign to the audience and expose them to other media. I knew this was my chance to take control, so I persuaded people to come to my side, take out their mayor, and install me as the ruler of Kwcville, or as I wish to call it, Robotropolis. Eggman insulted. Comment. We have the full variety of music in Kwcville, import, export, so forth, so nobody is a stranger to the likes of Britney Spears, NSYNC, for real, and, like, you know, J-pop, K-pop, all the other sorts of music. Everybody is aware of all the music around the world and so forth. Because everybody exists and coexists together in the same in this neutral dimension of ours that's neighboring to this one right here, 1218. Their dimension of our dimension is C197. There's the LC's connected here, or is ours, so Oh, thank goodness a dimension merge is happening, so we don't have to be confused. C197 1218, so we can take out Jacoba and a whole bunch of other freaking menacing foes. Anyway, back to the story.
You can't do this. I won't let you.
SNT prepared to fight. I'm gonna let you get to me first. If you need me, I will be pondering my projects on top of the tallest building in this city. Come to floor 66 plus 6 if you want to see me again. Eggman tells her.
Alright, I'll be there in a flash.
SNT took off running as Eggman then flew up to the top of the building to wait. SNT then ran into the building in pursuit of the evil genius. 4 cent egg sound. Act 1. Once in the lobby of the building, SNT could see that the elevator wasn't working. This meant that she would have to climb the building herself. Of course, Eggman wouldn't make this easy.
Well, of course, Eggman wouldn't make this easy.
SNT muttered. She was forced to access the second floor by boosting up the wall and onto the second floor. She then had to keep climbing to the third and so on. This task demanded non-stop parkour with wall jumping, running up walls and jumping from platform to platform. Each floor had all kinds of gossip tacked, taped, or written on the walls, possibly put there by the previous owners. The content was horrible. It included all sorts of slander against Chris, who was mayor of Quickville. The walls also had plans to troll the mayor because he was extremely gullible in falling for such tricks. SNT ended up running through all sorts of rooms with every kind of gossip posted all over. Soon she found herself surrounded by things she didn't want to see. It reminded her of the pictures that Pina had given her. They were all drawn about the characters in this world, some that she had seen and some that she hadn't. Good drawings were randomly mixed with the appropriate pictures. There were even some of Sonic. This is what she saw. This is what she saw. I'm pretty much going to confirm this right now. Something similar to this. And I'm just going to quote the line.
Sonic looks pretty good in that. Never mind. It's pretty good in that towel.
There you go. So that's what she saw. Hi, baby. Boy, get down. My cat. Outside the camera. Not cat video yet. Hi, hey, baby. Stay off this side, alright? If you want to climb onto the bed, you can get up over here. Alright? He's just examining the curiosities. And he's like,
Please. Look at everything. Look, here I am.
okay, now it may become a cat video. Here, boy. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here, Mr. Man. Come on, let's make this a cat video.
Come on.
Here it is. Now it's a cat video. Here's baby. And now he wanders off. There. There he is.
Hello.
You're just a silly little man, aren't you? Yes, you are. Okay, you don't want to see nothing. Okay, now this is a cat video. It just became a cat video. So, have fun with that. What the hell? Anyway, you missed a baby. I'm reading a story. Hey, once upon a time, this cat came in and interrupted the video. Down! He almost knocked off the camera. He would have made a mess. Alright, down, boy. Leave the cable alone. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. Okay, I hate to do this. He's on the corner of the bed. He's not getting off, but at least he's not messing with the cable anymore. I'm gonna take cat. Defend their territory. There you go. That's how you can control a cat. So, yeah.
sounded kind of good with that towel. Never mind.
There were no Pokemon, but back next to SNT had to avoid. There was a mix of all the types of robots Eggman had used against Sonic. SNT could just...
Get off the bed!
I don't want to mess with the cables anymore. It makes me nervous. Just a stab of plastic. Once I have a plastic bottle, no big deal. There's a mix of all types of robots Eggman had used against Sonic. SNT could just boost into them since she already knew they were easy to take out. SNT's located a large ring.
I still need 3 more Chaos Emeralds.
She noted. Oh, okay, so she had 4 emeralds, not 6. And she noted and jumped in the ring. Special stage! Get to the end of the stage in 1 minute! The stage was a lot harder because there weren't just more spikes, but also SNT now had to jump over gaps in the road she was on. It was game over! The rings were also more scared and becoming less common to collect. It was hard, but she barely made it with 1 second left in the clock. SNT got a Chaos Emerald!
Charge!
SNT continued to climb the building. Once she reached the 33rd floor, she arrived at a glass room with the city view on display around her. Just when she was about to climb the stairs to the next floor, she heard a voice. Stop! Someone shouted. SNT looked back to find a purple Sonichu right behind her. It seemed that he had come after her. Yeah, he doesn't call me father or mother. Just to let you know, Magic-chan never did that. Alright? So I'm just going to pretty much swap the instance with Christian, so... Alright. Stop! Christian has asked me to take care of Eggman. You can stop here. You could get yourself hurt if you continue.
Well, I appreciate your concern, and I must continue, as I see Eggman as... Wait. Who? Is your father?
Okay, and then this just takes my edit and blows it away. Father asked me to take care of Eggman. You could stop here. You could get yourself hurt if you continue.
Wait, who is your father?
SNT abruptly changed the subject.
Is he a superhero? Is this your first mission, or is he sick?
Well, Father is really Chris. It's not you, man.
Wait, what? You're not even biologically related to him? How is that possible?
Well, Chris created us with his genius mind, the purple creature responded. I was born from an egg and raised by Mewtwo, and we call him Father because he is the mastermind of the Sonichus. Correction here, not mastermind, I'm just essentially the central goddess and deity of all Sonichus and those shoes, and Magic-chan's the guardian. Alright? Why, so many things.
That's really weird. I don't even want to question it because I've seen just about enough of this world. Everything here is messed up.
This place is perfect. How dare you insult this world that Chris has created? The Sonichu responded crossly, obviously offended.
Well, it doesn't matter. I just need to get Eggman out of here.
SNT said, about to run off again. You can't face Eggman. You are too weak, he asserted. This is why Chris sent me. Magic-chan, one of the most powerful Sonichus in this world.
Well, I think I can take him. I've faced him before and I have won. This is just another day for me.
SNT retorted, but Magic-chan didn't budge. You must turn back and find Chris. He will keep you safe from Eggman. After all that Chris had done to SNT, she reasoned.
Now, why would I go back after he's already attacked me? Why would I trust him when I'm powerful enough to stop Eggman on my own? There's nothing you can do to stop me from taking him down myself.
Then I shall take you down. And if I beat you, you must turn back.
Deal!
She accepted the challenge and took her fine stance. Magic-chan started emitting psychic waves, throwing SNT all over the room and into the ground. SNT then homie attacked Magic-chan, but he did another psychic attack to avoid it, throwing her all over the room yet again. SNT tried to boost, but Magic-chan seemed to know where she was at all times, even with his eyes closed, and would either dodge or counterattack by spamming his psychic attack. It seemed that darn this Flim. Excuse me. You're not included. Get off the bottom. It seemed that SNT could not do anything to attack him. Magic-chan's next move was to flip gravity and then play right back to normal to confuse her. He was ruthless and was trying his hardest to keep his attacks coming. He would throw her around and homing attack constantly. Magic-chan was too powerful to be easily defeated. Ugh, darn it. SNT was getting tired, but could not get a breath between the heavy attacks. She was about to pass out. Still, she had one last trick up her sleeve. She quickly grabbed one of the Chaos Emeralds from behind her and shouted,
Chaos Control, no!
Magic-chan had interrupted, knocking the emerald out of her hand. It rolled on the floor behind her. SNT then realized how Magic-chan was doing it.
Wait, Magic-chan can see the future!
When she ran to scoop up the Chaos Emerald from the floor, she grabbed another one from behind her back. They faced each other, emeralds in hand. Oh wait, when he ran... Okay, so he ran, got the Chaos Emerald. When he ran, scooped up the Chaos Emerald, I misread. She grabbed another one from her back. They faced each other, emeralds in hand, like it was a race. If SNT didn't yell in time, rather activate the effect, the fight would be over for her. Magic-chan and SNT both yelled, Chaos Control!
Chaos Control!
And time slowed down. SNT opened her eyes and found that she might have indeed been slightly faster than Magic-chan. She took advantage of the situation, ran up to Magic-chan, took back the Chaos Emerald, and beat him up with 10 hits. When time returned to its normal place, Magic-chan was in pain. He fainted. She had knocked him out. SNT got to Act 1.
Sky!
Right guess. The ground started to shake and SNT felt the floor under her feet start crumbling. She quickly ran to the stairs by boosting and made by jumping to the door opening. Magic-chan went down with the floor and landed below, covered in the rubble. SNT wanted to save Magic-chan, but knew that if she went down the floor, she could never get back to Eggman. She just had to keep going. 4 Cent Egg, Act 2. In this last part of the building, SNT had to work against falling platforms and stairs. It was like Eggman was shaking the building. It reminded her of going through the Wild Zone after fighting Shawil. S-L-A-W-E-E-L. There's no H in the first syllable. After the Wild Zone, I had to find Sloweo. When the witch put a temporary curse on her and the trees and the ground kept trying to kill her, all the same she would survive. The area was also darker since it was late at night and there were no lights. Some of the floors were completely black, and SNT had to grab a temporary light which would last for only 15 seconds before going out. To renew the light, she had to collect batteries. The bandits were remixed a little. Now they attached with lasers, which created light for SNT to see by in the dark, but would also hurt her if she made contact. She was still climbing the building, but she soon found a large ring and jumped to it. Special stage! Get to the end of the stage in 1 minute! This is possibly the hardest stage of all, as every jump had to be precise and perfect. SNT really had to focus. This time the track she ran on was falling apart, so she had to jump in time to make sure she didn't fall off. It was really close and hard. She did hit one spike and lose 10 rings, but she didn't give up. Eventually, she barely made it before the clock ran out. SNT got a Chaos Emerald.
I need one more. I wonder what it could be.
When SNT made it to the 66th floor, she was confronted by a circular path all the way to the 72nd floor. On top of the building was a ball, which looked like the Death Egg, but on a smaller scale. It was built on top of the building. Suddenly, right behind her, she heard Eggman laugh. And another thing! Welcome to your final resting place, SNT. I built this place on the leftover rubble from the previous building that once stood here. I have a special surprise for you.
Show me what you got, Eggman. I'm not afraid of you.
Eggman then took his flying mobile and mounted what looked to be a white orb-shouldered dragon she'd seen before.
What is that?
Meet the goddess of space for this world, Palkia, a Pokemon who will destroy you. But not yet, as I have another surprise. Come hither, Roboso! Eggman yelled, and just like that, a robot that looked familiar. One of its eyes was open, but the other was covered in electrical equipment. The body was blue with spikes coming out of its back, something that SNT recognized.
Sonic! What'd you do to him?
I tamed Palkia with this Chaos Emerald. And I ripped Sonic out of our dimension and knocked him out, and I roboticized him. This is not Sonic anymore. SNT was not.
He has the last Chaos Emerald and roboticized Sonic.
You're all the wrong ways. I see you try to get yourself out of this since he is the love of your life. Get him, Robo-Soul! Robo-Sonic then fired up the jets on his back. SNT quick boosted to get away. They were both now climbing the swirling pathway to the 72nd floor. Sonic was clearly faster than SNT, but SNT tried her best not to stop running and to speed up. Sonic flew into her and attacked her head-on. SNT couldn't dodge and tripped on her own feet. Sonic didn't blink, but only kept running behind her.
Sonic! You need to snap out of it! It's SNT! Remember?
Sonic then went ahead of her and attacked her with a diving attack, which SNT avoided by jumping.
Sonic! I can't attack you. You're everything to me.
Sonic then did another attack, this time by coming up behind SNT and trying to run her down. SNT avoided this by jumping behind him. Sonic suddenly stopped to trip her up, but SNT avoided it as well by jumping overhead. No matter what Sonic did, SNT could never persuade herself to attack or counterattack him. It was just too hard for her to hurt him. They both ended up running up the spiral ramp up to the ball on the 72nd floor, where SNT found herself trapped in the ball when the door closed behind her, sealing her in with Sonic. Eggman, riding Palkia, entered to the top of the ball, and then things got real. Sonic kept diving into SNT, while Palkia slashed at her. That gave her two obstacles to avoid. Every time SNT dodged one of Palkia's or Eggman's attacks, they would hit Sonic, destroying more pieces of his robotic side. Sonic would attack by turning into a ball and trying to homing attack SNT, but then she would jump onto Eggman, where he sat on top of the dragon. What are you doing? Eggman demanded. Sonic then hit Eggman when SNT dodged, damaging them both.
If I make them attack each other, I can get away with this,
SNT said to herself. She kept getting in front of Sonic to make Palkia attack him, or she would get on Eggman to make Sonic attack him. Eggman caught on though. He used Palkia to shake SNT off, forcing SNT to have to hold on or fly in front of Eggman against Sonic to attack. SNT had no problems attacking Eggman directly, at least. After enough of Palkia's attacks against Sonic, the robot side of him was completely broken off and Sonic was propelled back. SNT used the chance to attack Eggman directly. Suddenly, Eggman's pod exploded, sending him flying to the ground. Palkia was now free from Eggman's grasp. The Chaos Emerald then flew into the air, allowing SNT to reach up and catch it in her hand. SNT got a Chaos Emerald! She can now become Super SNT! SNT got to Act 2, Rank S.
Special!
I need to take a moment to go use the toilet. I shall return in a moment. I do drink lots of water, as most people should. Darn, this tickle in my throat.
Hey, Arby!
And don't shake the camera!
Real, Mr. Man, what are you doing?
This English is not to knock the camera off its pedestal, which is essentially a short stack of books and a flexible tripod. Very filmable. Static coming from Commodore monitor with Commodore and Dreamcast hooked up to it. Music coming from my phone. This is my meditation method. Do not question me. Meditation, instigation, proclamation. Divination, intervention, divine intervention. Do something. There you go. So she got the kiosk roll. Yeah, she got back too.
Thanks, no.
She then went on to Sonic.
Sonic, are you alright?
She asked, keeling over him. Sonic opened his eyes broadly as his vision Sonic came back into focus. SNT?
Oh, Sonic!
She hugged him, overflowing with joy. Hey. Calm down. I'm just happy to see you safe, Sonic responded. Now, though, the base all around them started to shake and self-destruct.
We need to get out of here.
SNT commanded as she grabbed Sonic's hand and hauled him into the hole formed from the explosion. Together, they jumped from the 72nd floor. SNT! Why did you do that? Sonic yelled as he fell. However, SNT came to the rescue, using her tails to fly to the ground with Sonic in her arms and landing softly on the ground as the building collapsed behind them.
Oh, Sonic! I'm so glad to see you! I've been in this world for so long that I don't know what to do.
Everything's okay now. You're able to get through it. By the way, where the hell are we?
Quizville.
SNT replied. She then explained to Sonic what had happened so far and told him about the Chaos Emeralds. But when the conversation got around to Christian, suddenly Chris appeared, seemingly out of nowhere, and zapped SNT with a ray.
Ah!
She fell to her knees. Hey, what'd you do to her? Sonic demanded. Well, Sonic? Oh, wow. Sonic! Yes! Oh, I'm such a huge fan. Huge fan! Yeah, why? Thank you. But you heard SNT! Sonic confronted Chris. Chris then showed off his device. Ah. This is my Find Creator Ray. It finds creators of things and brings them here to this location, he explained. I needed SNT so I could summon her creator. Chris then pressed the red button on the machine. Oh boy, now here's a stretch. And Courtney, if you're watching this, I'm gonna quote you from now. I mean, shoot, I had no complaints or suing you or anything when you redesigned my character, so please don't sue me or anything like that, but I'm not trying to vocally imitate you, so there's that. Alright. I know hustle play something, so press the red button. Meanwhile, somewhere in the United States, a girl named Courtney was in her bedroom finishing something on her computer. I'm gonna do my best, and I've heard your voice many times, watched your videos, listened to you a lot, and SNT chat comes in. SNT respects trans rights. SNT speaks trans rights. SNT speaks trans rights. And done! The latest episode of SNT Forces is now complete. Now must export, and of course Premiere Pro is going to take all night. So I guess it's time to call it a night, she said to herself. Suddenly a wind whipped out outside. Courtney had left the window open and let the fresh air in. She went to the window and began to close it, but then a bright light appeared outside the window, and the wind increased to tornado force. She was knocked off her feet, only to find that portal had opened in the floor in the room. Ah! What's going on? She was then sucked down the portal, unaware of where it would lead. A portal opened up above SNT, Chris, Sonic, and now Sonichu and Rochu, who had just arrived on the scene. Without warning, a blue-haired girl with cat ears fell from the portal, and Chris scooted into position to catch her in his arms. When the girl landed, Chris lost his balance and fell on his backside. There's your acting there. With the girl on top of him. What happened? The disoriented girl said from her position on top of Christian. As her vision cleared, she noticed SNT and Son. Wait, what? SNT? Is that you?
How do you know my name?
Then she looked down on what she landed on. Eek! She screamed and shot observing.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry about.
Wait,
Christian?
Yep. Oh, okay, I must be dreaming. There's no way I could be meeting my Sonic OC and Christian in the same area.
Sonic OC? Who are you to call me that?
I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm going crazy. Courtney, I am the one who summoned you. Yeesh. Look, is it because I used your characters and redesigned them for that video? In that case, I'm sorry.
Please don't sue me. Please don't sue me.
No, actually, it's for a different reason. I summoned you here to resolve my love quest. Oh, that's great. In that case, I'm so happy that you don't want to sue. Wait, what? Courtney just realized what Chris had said just as she suddenly felt her hand being pulled. What? Come on, Courtney. I can't wait to date you. Oh boy, it sounds even really bad even as I say it out loud. I'm sure that, Courtney, you're watching this, and it definitely sounds bad to you. I'm just reading what's on this thing here, and Yeah. Anyway, so boy, definitely totally different Chris. I had to speak with him so much, just divine intervention all over the place. Wait, Chris, I don't think you should be doing this. Please let go. Help me!
What is this Sonic go see?
What are you doing, SNT? We need to go after her. She wants our help.
Okay. I need to ask her what she meant by her Sonic OC.
Then both SNT and Sonic start running after Chris and Courtney. She knew that her adventure through this particular alt dimension Quickville wasn't over yet. Then I'm clicking the link to the next chapter. Okay, this is interesting. Update November 4th, 2019. The chapter has been revised. Also, the most controversial scene in this fanfic was added to make it less saucy to fit Chris's personality more. Well, curious. Alright, well, Courtney, I'm picking up where you left off. You and your friends, so here we go. Furthering down this particular rabbit hole. Alright, this is gonna be partly beyond belief. I say this now. Chapter 8. Sexual Speedway Zone. Alright. Courtney was still locked onto Chris's arm as they made it into an amusement park in Quickville. The destination Chris had chosen for them was the Tunnel of Love. How neurotypical. Yeah. Chris finally let go of Courtney as the swan boat arrived on shore. Please, Chris, this is nice and all, but you know I need to be somewhere right now. Oh boy, me reading myself in this way. Come on, Courtney. This Tunnel of Love is the perfect place where I can get to know you better. He responded as the door to the boat opened. After you. Oh, I just remembered I left my cat on fire. Yeah, that's it. My cat's burning right now, and I have to go put it out. Let me just do that. But if you go through that portal in the mayor's office, you will end up in Rockersville, Virginia. And I don't know where your house is. There's no time to go home. Darn. Darn. Courtney sent frustration as Sonichu abruptly pushed her into the boat. Okay, now this is what Sonichu should sound like. Yeah. Definitely sounds close to classic Sonic, as if you're watching Saturday morning. I'm definitely going to cite that as the voice. Saturday morning Sonic as opposed to Adventures of Sonic and Sonic Underground, which is the same voice actor, but the point is made. His mind is amping up. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me start by this. Well, you don't have to tell me twice, but back there in the Stone Age, you'd really have to knock it into my head. Beat me with a rock or something. There you go. That's the end of that. Beat me with a rock or something. All right. Got the voice again. Please, our great mayor is giving you an offer to spend time with him. Please don't decline his invitation, Sonichu begged. And actually, I'm going to say that Saki definitely got Rosie right, at least in the voice. So that's pretty much like, just follow her example on it if you want to do a Rosie voice, do a Rosie Chew voice.
Chris has been out for a long time and is looking for someone like you. Please spend time with him, and he will treat you like a princess.
Princess? You mean the Disney ones with no personality? Yeah, I bet. Chris started the boat and headed them into the tunnel. Courtney sat as far away from Chris as the boat would allow and curved herself into a ball, repeating, "This is a dream. This is a dream. I'm gonna wake up from it soon. Please, Courtney, wake up! Wake up! Wake Don't worry, Courtney. I'm a nice guy and I'm full of sugar.
Oh my god!
That did not make her feel any better. Sonichu and Roshu got into their own boat and followed them right in. Come on, let's join our time here. After all, I literally have never seen this place, so this would be a great spot for us to be alone. Soon SNT and Sonic arrived on the scene at the opening of the tunnel.
We have to go in there?
Yep, looks like it. SNT had to smack herself in the face to snap out of it. Method acting.
Sonic, I don't think this is going to work.
What do you mean?
SNT crossed her legs and put her hands together to keep her finger still. The point I'm trying to make is that, Sonic? You're just too distracting for me.
Distracting? Sonic also had feelings for SNT, which so he understood why he was being surprised.
Look, I want to do this alone. That girl, Courtney, she knows something about me. And I don't know. She knows something about me that I don't know. And having you there, just...
Sonic's her explanation was cut short by a Sonic's finger gently placed across her. Yeah, okay. I know what you mean. So here's the deal. And somewhere in the dark, I thought I heard the dog bark. Excuse me. Shut up! What? Oh, fuck. I'll deal with it. I'll send him away. Alright, whose joke idea was it to order a pizza and try sending my way? You interrupted this thing! And you know what? This is what happened that got me blacklisted from any deliveries from Papa John's. Why they would never deliver any pizza to this place. You frickin' hating trolls! Urgh. I know what you mean. Here's the deal. I'll wait for you. And if you take too long, then I will come in after you. That deal?
Okay.
Thank you for understanding. Embarrassed, SNT looked away from Sonic. It's okay. Just go in there and do what you need to do. She then boarded a boat and rode into the Tunnel of Love and waved at Sonic until she was out of sight. Sexual Speedway Zone, Act 1. It turned out that the tunnel wasn't just a boat ride. SNT quickly found herself against a shore, so she quickly docked her boat and went deeper into the area. The cave changed as it turned into a maze of astounding proportions. The zone was nothing like SNT had ever seen. It was made from pink, bouncy pillows that lay all over the place, which she used to jump to higher places. This area had a Valentine's Day theme. The walls were white, as was the ground, to indicate where there were no pillows. Wall for white. Just a normal floor. As SNT made her way in deeper, she discovered rivers of pink water, which forced her to swim into the cavern to make progress. There wasn't an overabundance of water, though. It was primarily a design feature allowing the tunnel to be decorated with pink waterfalls. Weirdly enough, there were no Pokemon to fight for enemies to defeat SNT. No Pokemon to fight or enemies to defeat. SNT wondered why that was, but still she was trying to avoid drowning, running into spikes and being hit by falling lights. She eventually stumbled upon Sonichu and Roshu, where they sat next to a waterfall admiring its beauty.
Well, sweet folks, this sure is romantic.
Rosie smiled. You know, we are alone right now. You want to get dirty? As Sonichu tackled her, Roshu cried out, "Oh, Sonichu!" And one of my favorite parts, I'm just going to pretty much quote Courtney because, you know, that part where Chris brushed at SNT at the mall, she's like,
Stop it! 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 Stop it!
literally 10 times. I've counted. SNT burst in upon the scene and interrupted them.
Please, not here.
Hey, you interrupted our private time!
I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to get through to find Courtney.
Sonichu stood up and Rosie backed away to watch. Last time we fought, you performed an attack I didn't think you knew, so this time I will not hold anything back. I'm here to protect Chris' love quest from being interrupted by you.
But if you even looked at Courtney's face, you can see she really does not want this. She doesn't want anything to do with him.
Love will find a way to everyone's heart. Prepare yourself for the last battle with me. Sonichu opened up by kicking water into SNT's face, following up with a real kick. SNT then jumped over Sonichu and performed a homing attack, but Sonichu used his hands to block it. Then SNT punched Sonichu in the chest. Sonichu retaliated by throwing electro balls at SNT, which required her to dodge using parkour. SNT performed another homing attack, hitting him directly. Sonichu tried using Volt Tackle, but then SNT would just dodge and homing attack him from behind. He also did a running punch, but she dodged it the same way and then counterattacked. This fight with Sonichu was different from the first, but was still fairly easy for SNT. As the battle neared its end, Sonichu stood before SNT and they stared each other down. Both press so hard, the battle would boil down to a matter of endurance. Who would be worn down first? SNT decided to use Sonic's strategy, which was to keep her feet on point by saying, Eventually, Sonichu's fatigue was catching up with him, allowing SNT to push him back. No! No! He protested. SNT didn't hold back in. She was all in. No! At last, Sonichu was knocked off his feet and smashed into a wall behind him. Sonichu! Roshu went to tend to her mate. She wasn't up for fighting SNT for some reason. SNT got through Act 1. Act 1. Rank gets. Let's see. I'm not gonna do the SNT voice with that word. SNT ran past while Roshu embraced Sonichu. You're going to be okay, my heartsweet. Now that SNT is gone, maybe we can be alone, she cooed. Please, let me rest first. Sonichu responded as he fainted. Oh, crap. Meanwhile, Courtney and Chris and oh boy. Okay. Courtney and Chris had traveled through the cave. Their final destination was an island in the middle of a pink lake. On that island was a single pink bed with flowers all over it. Courtney certainly knew where this was headed thus far. All she'd done was talk with Chris about his life. But once she saw that bed, a feeling of dread overcame her and she knew she had to get away. Chris hopped out of the boat and into the water, heading for the island. Come on in, the water is warm. Come on in, the water's warm. Yeah. Courtney needed an excuse. She didn't want to cross that pink water going out like this. I'm allergic to pink water. Yeah, that's it. I can't swim in that. However, Chris had a solution. He lifted Courtney up and placed her on his back. So right across the water without touching it. Courtney was stunned. What could she do now? It was a clumsy crossing, but they eventually made it to the island. Chris set Courtney down and they both sat at the water's edge. Okay, Chris, you're nice and all, but she started, but she had to get out of the situation. And yeah, what's wrong? What's wrong? What I mean is, I don't think you are the guy for me. She had to get the idea across because if she didn't, she would probably end up on that bed with Chris doing the unimaginable. What? It's not you. Or maybe it is. But I don't deserve this. You've taken me to a nice place and all, but you kidnapped me from my own world to do it. Plus, there are many things I just don't like about you. What the hell are you talking about? Maybe I should just explain this by singing to you. The next part is sung to the night, a 1987 song, Love Overboard by Class Knights and the Pips. The song was completely sung by Courtney and is called 1 Over 1. Wrote in the same style that Chris writes his rules in the track. Darn it up for this guy. Wow. Alright, well, you know what? I'm going to sing this in my singing voice. I'm not going to imitate Courtney for this. Or SNT, just. And I have not heard this song before, but I imagine it's romantic, so. Trolls, tell me, Christian. You know you try too hard to be in love with any girl this far. They tell me, Christian, this has gone too far. 'Cause it feels like I am in a job. Sometimes we only want what's best. sometimes we only want the best from you to help you through. We try to reach out, but you never reach out. When we do try to help, you always start a coup. In this world lies, there will always be hate. 1/1. You prioritize yourself. 1/1. You never help yourself. 1/1. You never have stepped up yourself. 1/1. I'm not in love with you. Hey! Christian, trolls say you go too far. When it comes to all the love and hate, I say, in this case, I say we are on par. Describing you and your fantasies. I say I understand. They want to push on your buttons. They would swim every shore to bother you more. Even though it's a pain just to deal with the hate. But with a room of trolls, it doesn't hurt to ignore. 1/1. Oh, you never grow up. 1/1. Please go help yourself. 1/1. Life is a given. 1/1. Stop living in a box. 1/1. You have never impressed me. 1/1. I'm not the girl you see. 1/1. Love is hard enough. 1/1. I'm not in love with you. Bridge. Everybody keeps telling what you do online. Look between the lines and try to find the logic you seek about the things you do. It seems like you've exposed yourself to the open world. Yeah. It's time to move on from your life. You need to let go of the times and start living a life because you aren't impressing me. Cause it's 1/1. Christian. 1/1. Please get some help. 1/1. Na, 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 na. Ooh, even though you're very sweet, but your love has never clean. 1/1. Na, 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 na. I'm not in love with you. 1/1. Please don't talk to me. 1/1. You would never respect me. 1/1. I just want you to see. I'm not in love with you. Feeling? Trolling? No, trolling. No, 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 yes. If I need some help, stop praising yourself. Don't come after me. Cause I'm not in love with you. Hey! Applause, applause. Alright, so then Chris looks blankly at Courtney, trying to understand the meaning of his, Okay, are you saying you don't love me? Excuse me, I need some water. By the way, upstairs we do have a water filter on our sink tap. Now this saves me trips upstairs to refill my bottle, okay? I mean, I'm not lazy. I will do it, but considering I don't want to be like off camera a bunch of times, this works. So, shut up! Hey guys! This Listen, my point is, your purpose in life, in your mind, is to find a girl that she will just take care of. To find a girl that will just take care of you, have sex with you when you want it. That's not what a relationship means to me. A relationship means that you want to hang out with a good friend of the opposite gender for the rest of your life. And you both take care of each other when needed. That means you both work hard to support the love you maintain. I have never met a girl in this world who is into any of the things you are interested in or what you define as a relationship. Because a girl looks for more than that. Girls look at whatever you can girls look at whether you can take care of them or not. And it's obvious that you can't do that. Therefore, you are still single and I don't want to put my life in your hands. Therefore, I don't love you, and I never will, and possibly no girl ever will, because you're just too immature. You'll never love me. I'm not interested. Even in heaven or hell, I would never fall in love with you. Yeah, Chris yelled like that, like he did before at the mall. Heart meter showered to minus 100%. And Chris' anger rose to astronomical levels since he'd gotten this close to having sex with the girl but was caught short. His mental state shattered, and suddenly Chris wasn't Chris anymore. He became possessed with a major darkness. Chris then lifted Courtney from her feet, then carried her. Hey, put me down! Courtney demanded as she focused, and Chris then laid Courtney on the bed and pulled some rope from beneath it. And that was when Courtney realized what was about to happen. Chris, this isn't news. Please stop! What happened to respecting women?
I don't care about what happens to women anymore. I could never find a true sweetheart. And now the first girl that ain't with me refuses to love me. At this point, I'm throwing all my morals out the window. All I want is a simple kiss, that's it, simple kiss. And I'm the first time.
Courtney didn't know what to do. Oh, I bet she had. What was her voice? Screamed so loudly and an echo rang down her tongue. Ah! I feel for that. I do feel for you there. Meanwhile, SNT was running to the tunnel when suddenly she heard the terrified scream. She stopped to listen carefully and used the sound to figure out how close she was.
Don't worry, Courtney. I'm coming.
She then boosted, realizing the situation had just gotten really serious. Central Speedway Zone, Act 2. This part of the Speedway was a lot faster as SNT couldn't stop moving. She had to reach Courtney in time to save her. The pills in the area now were different shades of pink, and each shade had a different bounce radius. The darker they were, the bouncier they were. SNT used them to try to get to the higher path, because those were usually the fastest. SNT had no time to fight. She also had to outrun waves of pink water as she descended the slopes. This time there were Pokemon to work. They were heart-shaped Pokemon with long mouths. They would kiss SNT to make her temporarily fall in love, only then to get shot at by a laser. Love disc. There were many. They could quickly surround her, kiss her, and try to drown her with their weight. Unless she boosted. SNT moved as fast as it could, going from bouncy platform to bouncy platform, until she saw the bed where Courtney and Chris lay on the island in the middle of the pond. Fortunately, nothing has happened yet! Nothing has happened yet! She got there SNT quickly enough. SNT dived to the water to conceal herself from Chris. His face was already getting close to Courtney's.
No matter, you're ready to kiss.
Please wake up, Courtney. I don't want to be in this dream anymore.
Wrong. Please, Courtney, wake up. I don't want to be in this dream anymore. Chris, that left floating earth was nothing she ever expected. Just like that, SNT jumped out of the water and kicked Chris in the face. Knocking him off the bed and into the pond, and that...
And that is what you get when you go too hard.
SNT lay next to the bed and looked back at Courtney. Courtney smiled and said, "Oh, thank God. You are my lifesaver. You don't know how grateful I am. Thank you, SNT.
I'm just doing what I need to do.
SNT responded modestly as she untied Courtney from the bed. Courtney then stood up, looked at herself, touched her arm, and pushed it. Shit. I'm not dreaming at all, am I?
Well, you seem real to me.
Well, the bright side, we avoided me being kissed, so that's good. SCT then put her hand out as they looked back at Chris flopping around in the water. He stood up.
This isn't over, Courtney. Don't get all happy yet.
Chris laughed, his voice crackling as though he completely lost his mind.
You make my world SNT.
I'm gonna read this in my normal voice. My throat's not taking it anymore. All the people that lived in Kwcville are now against me, and you've taken my world from me. Well, once a girl would love me all night, and you've ruined that too. Fuck you! Now you must pay with your lives! Chris then took a button out of his pocket and pressed it. Suddenly, the tunnel above them began to crumble, and the water started draining out. Chris yelled, "Maljay! Beam me up!" When Chris disappeared, whoosh, the ceiling started to fall apart. Showering SNT and Courtney with rubble, Courtney asked, "How are we gonna get out of here?"
Courtney, hold on to me.
SNT replied. Courtney held on as SNT activated the 7 Chaos Emeralds. At this, both of their forms changed. Courtney's hair and eyes turned into a light golden color, and SNT's fur also changed to gold. Her hair lightening and floating with the increased energy. Together they flew towards the opening of the cave. SNT flew in front of Courtney as she followed behind. Courtney remarked, "Wow, I've always wanted to be a magical girl, and I believe that dream just came true." SNT had to clear the way by spinning into rocks and breaking them, as they would otherwise slow her down. Courtney tried doing the same. She knew she was temporarily invincible, so she took full advantage of the flying power. They kept working together through the tunnel, breaking rocks together. Eventually, they saw a light shining at the end.
We're almost there, Courtney. Just a few more moments.
The pair sped up as the cave collapsed behind them, made it out in time. S&T got through Act 2. Right? Guess.
Shiny.
Why not? Shining S&T. Oh. Give me a moment. That became a bit of a headache. I think it was partly due to the dog barking. Pardon me, I'm gonna take Tylenol and aspirin. Wait, I did read this before. Are y'all ready for some real trippy moments? Because chapter 9 really gets a bit trippy. Chapter 9, Mental Madness Zone. Guess I can say that with an easier voice tone, without feeling restrained. Still in their super forms, SNT and Courtney landed outside of Sonic. Once SNT deactivated the Chaos symbols, they returned to their original forms. Courtney hugged SNT. You were amazing, SNT! I don't remember giving you this much control with the Chaos symbols, but you've impressed me! I knew you could do it, SNT. She's special. SNT looked inquisitively at Courtney.
Okay, now I gotta ask. What do you mean by giving me this much control?
Oh, that's right, you don't know me. Courtney realized. SNT nodded, and then Courtney then sat down and proceeded to explain. You see, Courtney? Damn. Take two. You see, SNT, you are my Sonic original character. You're technically me the way I would portray myself as a Sonic character.
Wait, so are you saying I'm technically you in another dimension?
Well, you can't say that, to be honest. I didn't think you existed until this point. This suddenly makes Christian's or Christine's argument about multiple dimensions hold weight after all. Really? Wait. Why is Christian Christine here? And the answer is, this is an alt-dimension version of me. Just another self-counterpart. One of many. We have many.
So, am I really a figment of your imagination?
I said to myself, so... Yeah, that's correct, Courtney admitted, but right now I have just realized that I'm not the one controlling this story. And just so you know, Courtney, SNT may be in your imagination, but she's not fully a figment. She's only partly a figment because she's real. Everybody is real. I'm super serious about that. Anyway.
What are you talking about?
SNT asked curiously. I don't think I'm writing any story about Sonichu and you, SNT. I don't think Christian is either, because if that were the case, you would have lost the fight with Sonichu, Courtney reasoned. Therefore, there is another force controlling this story. Oh no! This is a fan fiction! And actually, seriously, I would not have pitted fighting against the okay, that's all different. That's all different time for nerd. It's all different story. I'll rather. It just depends on what actual. I do things on actual events when I chronicle them. So if Sonichu and SNT and C197 literally faced against each other, I literally chronicle as the fight as it happens and just about as it happens and who literally won. So I just can't see right now one way or the other. I mean, aside from, but yeah, SNT mostly Mary Sue-ish, but not quite. I've seen the faults. It's all another thing. And I don't mean anything by that. Just speaking in general. Oh no, this is a fan fiction. So wait, what does that mean? Everything is being controlled by someone somewhere else, including every line of dialogue we say. Whoever this person is, I'm gonna smack him for right in that kissing scene.
Are we ever gonna get out of this world and find our way back to our own dimension?
SNT inquired. I don't know, but what we can do is, Courtney was suddenly interrupted by a shaking of the ground below them. The earth was heaving and groaning under their feet as cracks began to appear. Because Chris was losing his mind, it seemed that his world had become unstable and was tearing apart. The world he had created was now in grave danger. SNT remembered that Chris had told her the world he'd created was being destroyed since her arrival. She had destroyed Chris's mind, and consequently, this world would be obliterated. Spoiler alert, it would end up being revived later after the end of the story, so there's that. And that was by that Chris's will, by the way. Anyway, so the cracks in the earth were becoming chasms when suddenly a bright light erupted and the world below them exploded, sending them all flying and floating in mid-air. When Sonic, SNT, and Courtney opened their eyes, they found themselves in what Courtney recognized as a kind of reverse world, just like where Giratina lived in the Pokemon game or movie. And somewhere in the dark, I thought I heard the dogs bark. Oh, I need to take a restroom break anyway. Stay tuned for further details. We'll be right back after these massages. Another frickin' pizza prank. Don't do this anymore! Okay, just like where Giratina lived in the Pokemon game movie. As they regained their feet and scanned the area, they could view fragments of different places that SNT had traversed during her explorations of Chris's world and was now torn asunder. Oh my god, Chris has lost it! This world's being destroyed once and for all. If we don't get out of here, we'll be forever trapped in this broken imagination. We need to get moving.
Okay, let's run.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's run, SNT. Sonic, you gotta just help Courtney up onto his back.
Let's start.
SNT replied as they both took off running deeper into the distorted world. Mental Magnet Zone, Act 1. Every zone that SNT crossed was jumbled with various elements of other locations. For example, the sewer that SNT had gone to was now remixed with the lagoon, and the ocean water was now sewage. The pills from the sauna were spread out, which helped SNT reach higher planes. There were all types of combinations of all the stages she traveled before. The pink water from the tunnel now floated in a bubble mid-air, forcing them all to swim through it to access the next platform. It also seemed that the rules of gravity had changed, much like the reverse world in Pokemon. When it was time to cross the bubbles of pink water, Sonic couldn't swim, so Courtney would take over and carry Sonic on her back as they made their way through the water. SNT ended up carrying both of them when going to higher platforms. To manage this, she spun her two tails around when she boosted. Sonic would also boost, but Courtney needed to hold on during the burst of speed as she couldn't go fast on her own. Eventually, they had a stroke of luck and found some new running shoes that Courtney could use to keep up. It was fun for her to be running with Sonic and SNT for once. The Pokemon they encountered were a mix of all types SNT had encountered during their various adventures. The same gimmicks applied. While swimming, the Flubfish Pokemon tried to drown Courtney and Sonic, but SNT saved them by boosting them out. Sonic got zapped by a Pikachu, needing SNT to rescue him once more. Courtney was more knowledgeable about Pokemon, so she knew how to avoid them when possible. Eventually, they made it to a dark, box-like room. None of them could see a thing. Abruptly, there was a light, and with it appeared a black Sonichu creature that bore an uncanny resemblance to Shadow. Alright. Yeah, Gangsta Shadow, that's pretty much nearly spot on how Blake sounds. It's just roughly putting it. But yeah, not as deep as Shadow, though, so. SNT, you messed up this world, and you shall pay for it! The newcomer raged.
Bless you! Or Blake. Whatever.
That's correct.
You were in a band with Christian, weren't you?
I was. But now I'm here to punish you and kill you for your disrespect, you trolls. I am the only thing that stands between you and Christian. This must be the last boss before the final boss. Nothing you can do will stop us. All we're trying to do is get out of here. We don't want any more harm.
Chris scared me. I'm exhausted. No, I want to go home and sleep. Please. All we are asking is to not have a fight. We could just
Let's begin. Blake announced as darkness overtook the room once more, and everyone began to float above the ground as though gravity had been reversed. Blake was now under the cover of darkness, and in the absence of gravity, it seemed impossible to do homing attacks. SNT and Sonic were left to rely on the walls of the room to propel themselves in the directions they wanted. Light suddenly glowed around what seemed like Blake, but wasn't for certain. SNT attempted to dive attack the middle, revealing that Blake was in the center of the orbiting lights.
Sonic, attack the middle of the lights!
She shouted. That worked, allowing Sonic to hurt Blake. Blake's light attack spread all over the room, causing a fire and lighting the room, so that it was easier to see Blake. The combatants need to be careful not to touch the fire. Courtney got a chance to attack Blake and threw him onto the wall. Blake also used a speed attack to propel himself onto anyone he saw. Eventually, after 10 hits, Blake coughed, the gravity came back home, and they all fell with Blake falling flat on his face. SNT, Sonic, and Courtney got through Act 1 like this.
Shadow!
Courtney then faced SNT. Did you hear what Blake said? She asked.
What was it?
Blake said that he was the only thing standing in the way of Chris. The final battle is coming. The portal is right where Chris is. I know it! Suddenly the ground shook again as the room broke up around them, forcing them all to jump from the new open room into another rock. Both Sonic and SNT made, but Courtney couldn't jump as high. SNT caught her before she fell into oblivion and pulled her onto the rock with the rest. Right before them, the machine that Chris used to summon Courtney lay on the same rock. Hey, would you look at that? As Sonic remarked. Give that to me, Courtney said. Sonic gave her the machine. Courtney started to examine how the machine worked.
What are you going to do with it?
SNT asked. Courtney then pressed a button and zapped the surroundings to find the creator of this fan fiction. Oh boy, now this is a real stupid thing. And now I gotta pretend I know what this guy sounds like. I'm just gonna go around this. Hey! Meanwhile, at a train station near a city in Texas, I was typing this story on my phone, thinking nothing of it. The train was coming in 5 minutes, and I had my ticket in hand so I could get home from school. I don't believe any of this is real, so I think this is just going to be a one gag thing, I said to myself as I watched the train starting to pull into the station. The train's yellow and black doors then opened, and I closed my eyes and started boarding the high floor trains. Oops, I missed a step. I tried again, but then opened my eyes and realized I wasn't at the train station anymore. Instead, I found myself walking into the store as I was riding. I was face to face with SNT, Sonic, and Courtney. Oh crap! Actually, to be honest, I didn't think this place existed until now. I'm just making this up as I go. Courtney marched up and slapped me in the face.
This is what you get for running a kissing scene with Chris!
I'm sorry. I'm just putting my imagination to the test, wondering what I can do with it.
Who are you, anyway?
Well, like Courtney explained earlier, I'm the writer of this story. My screen name is OpusCon789 of FanFiction.net. Courtney confronted me. How about you do us a favor? End the story now and put me back in my bed. I can't do that. What? What? Even I'm saying what now. Yeah, you see, I could do that if I wanted to, but I don't, because that would be a terrible ending for a story, just to say right now. And everyone lived happily ever after. If I ended it here, I know there are a lot of people reading this, and I have a lot of inspiration left. I won't let you control what's on my mind. I'm finishing this thing no matter what it means. Whether this place is real or not, so I'm sorry, Courtney. You're just gonna have to stick around. Why you? Courtney tried to tackle me, but then I wrote on my phone. I left the story and went back to the train. I was just on, and the machine that Courtney used, some of the wire, broke. Courtney was aggravated with the writer. I'm gonna say in that moment the writer Opus Khan just essentially disappeared, and yeah, the machine broke, and Courtney was aggravated with the writer. We're just gonna have to play his game. God damn it! The ground started to shake once more. SNT realized the situation, grabbed Courtney.
Sonic, let's keep going.
Got it! Mental Madness Zone, Act 2. The zone took all sorts of elements from all the levels and mixed them up. However, it was also adding new things from real-world elements, all of them ending up jumping on and over games that Chris liked and things that Chris hated. It was all used as platforms to other parts of the area. The games were spinning, reacting to wherever the three touched it with their feet, responding to the gravity. Also seeing that the items from Chris's room were incorporated with all of his knickknacks that they had flipped the platform over. It was like Chris's real life was being sucked into this world. An alternate version of 1218, by the way. Excuse me. It was obvious that Chris wasn't acting right considering the circumstances. In the background, video clips of Chris's life played all around him in several TVs, which were also platforms of him everywhere, as though they had entered his subconscious mind. Chris was now everywhere. The sky had transformed into patterns from the shirt he wore. Red, white, and blue. Ralph Lauren polo. They end up entering Chris's mouth and coming out of his butt. Let's not talk about this again, Courtney suggested. Agreed. I agree with that as well. After having witnessed the inside of a man. What? There were no Pokemon as there were now just a mini Chris's attacking them. Fortunately, these were extremely weak and harmless, so no one bothered with combat. Eventually, they arrived at the center of the zone, which was a large area with a pathway circling around a large white orb. There were two fire tornadoes, one on top of it and one on the bottom, that both led to oblivion. In the middle of the orb was the body of a sobbing man who seemed to be in the middle of a mental breakdown. It was Chris, who seemed completely out of it.
Chris! Please, Chris, we need to talk to you.
Oh, Chris looked up in the ball, all three of them, ran him up out of the orb and landed on the ground before all the... You have ruined my life! He screamed.
Listen, Chris, I meant no harm. It was when this world attacked me that I reacted. I wanted to tell you that. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry! If I didn't go to Angel Island, I would have never been here. Please, this is a great world for you. The characters live in, and I respect that. I never meant to destroy it.
Please remember that this man tried to force himself on me, Courtney remarked.
Please, Courtney, you're not helping the situation.
You abandon what you have done.
You have come to the center of my imagination to tell me this, but for a long time I've realized I'm not in control of it right now.
Well, yeah, that's because there's another person writing this story, and we can't do anything to stop you. Nothing has changed my mind. I will still punish all of you. No copyright law. The universe is going to stop me. Electric catch-on power! Suddenly, a white light appeared around Chris as his body began to transform into a Sonichu. He grew his Pikachu tail and his Sonic-like spikes. When the light disappeared, it was revealed to be a version of Sonic with Pikachu features. I would totally disagree with that, because this is a different shade of blue, and you got the icon of the medallion around here, and these brown stripes in the back, and the fact that this Chris was wearing green-blue shoes, not red-white. Long ears, Pikachu tail, long ears, the heart-shaped bolt tail in blue with the brown end. As you had seen from what I've been previously drawn. This is where I can say words! I can say words! Alright. Hey! You ripped off my style! Can't you come up with anything original? That doesn't matter! For me! I am Chris Sonichu, and it's my original creation!
Not really.
Courtney remarked.
Yeah, just don't question it. He lost his mind.
Really? We all looked at Chris. Well, you all know what? I realized something with the past years. I'm actually kind of a tom girl. And I really want to switch my gender. Call me Christine Weston Chandler. Christine! She attempted to flirt with her. Hey, you know, I am kind of a tom girl, and I'm working on switching my gender, so call me Christine Weston Chandler. Yep, he lost it.
The bird underlies as sure as we know it.
Chris turned out with a smile, and just like that, the fight began. Chris started floating in the air and swooping across the stage, trying to make hits on the three of them. However, she was going in a rough figure 8 pattern, so it was easy to figure out where she was going. Suddenly, Chris then gathered an orb in her hands and yelled, Hyper Beam! By the way, you don't have to shout to make your attacks happen. You're essentially putting them in your mind. The only fact that we end up adding these shouts or, text that these happen just to identify that this particular attack is this attack, like Thunderbolt, Thundershock, Thunder. I mean, it's a very situation. Like I could do a Thunderbolt without shouting Thunderbolt. You just pump in the air like another spear with the electric outings, and then I just shoot it out. That's Thunderbolt from me in a lot of Pokemon. All right, so you don't have to shout the word in order to make it happen. So the Hyper Beam was shot as she returned to the ground from half of the stage. So to avoid it, all of them moved from behind him. The response, SNT homing attack, Sonic homing attack, and then Courtney slapped him hard. That's for touching me! Chris then lifted back into the air and 3 bubbles appeared all around her. The bubbles gathered the 3 companions and captured them inside. They were then transported into Chris's fake memories as they popped back out of the bubbles to see Bionic now throwing basketballs onto the court for them to avoid. The bounce bounced a rhythm that all 3 of them had to dodge. This didn't last long, for only after 15 seconds they were transported back to Chris's location. End of Sonic Mania, anyone? Chris did another figure 8, and then bounced back down to the floor they stood on. Then Chris started charging Shockwave! And then the ground pounded onto the ground and let the shockwaves wave out. They all jumped to avoid the 3 rounds of electric power, and then SNT homing attacked Chris. Then Sonic took a hit, and that's Courtney kicked Chris in the back. Ow! Once more, Chris flew back into the air and surrounded himself with 2 bubbles, which swooped down and grabbed all 3 of them to bring them back through his memories. They were all transported to a room where Sonichu was waiting for them, as he sent lightning balls to random parts of the stage, forcing them to dodge the attacks. After 15 seconds, they were again transported back to Chris. She stopped moving in a figure 8 pattern and instead moved in a sort of an M pattern across the stage. Then Chris performed a swift attack. Stars started to fly all over the stage, so that the gang had to jump over them. Since Courtney couldn't jump that high, she ducked instead. Then Chris descended to the ground and started charging her boost. SNT quickly grabbed Courtney and jumped over Chris to boost attack along with Psy. Then they all attacked Chris one by one. Now a total of 9 hits on her. Chris once again summoned the bubbles to sweep them into another memory. Suddenly, they were warped into what seemed like the real world as they were teleported onto a highway. Courtney jumped on SNT's back and noticed the highway sign saying, Interstate 76 Pennsylvania Turnpike. Chris's dark blue car with the license plate Virginia Sonichu appeared behind them and tried to run them over. They jumped over the oncoming car, and then once the car passed them, it brakes checked them. Again, they jumped over it. Then the car took off into the air over the heads and maneuvered behind Psych. When another jump Psych cleared the obstacle, the car brake checked again and shot clear over Psych as S&T leapt over the projectile. After that, they were transported back to Chris's location another time. Chris then moved in a spiral pattern across the stage and prepared the electric wave attack. She made an electric shield around herself to form the lasers. One moved in an X pattern across the area, then T pattern, then Y pattern. Then Chris started spinning, forming a twister that all three had to outrun and not get sucked in. Courtney held on to S&T to keep herself from getting hurt or killed. Chris then became dizzy from spinning and fell to the ground, which left him open for attack. All three of the crew attacked him one-on-one with Courtney, this time headbutting. Ow. Chris then recovered from his confusion and summoned the 3 bubbles again to capture the gang and send them to another memory. They were then transported to the grocery store. Suddenly they had to avoid cops who ran all around them and threw their batons in the pattern. And even jumped over them trying to slip them up. CwcvilleGuardian even appeared and shot a laser to keep them on their toes. After another 15 seconds, they teleported back to Chris. Chris then maneuvered behind all of them and powered up, now spinning in the air, surrounded by electrical shockwaves. He chased them as they all to run from the electricity. As they all ran from the electricity. Then she dived right onto Courtney. Psy grabbed her to protect her, understanding that she couldn't run that fast. Chris then became tired and dizzy from the attack and landed on the ground. Using this chance, S&T homing attacked Chris along with Psy. Courtney then landed to finish him. Take this! She slammed her backside right into Chris, knocking her into the middle where she exploded. Ah, impossible! He fell off the stage. S&T, Courtney, and Psych watched as Chris fell into the abyss below them. S&T, Psych, and Courtney got through Act 2. Ranked S. Rank S.
Spiked!
Hey, good job, everybody!
You too, Sonic. You did really well.
The fight was no problem, but Courtney really got us through this. Courtney looked down to the abyss where Christine, as she now wanted to be called, had fallen. I have a feeling this isn't over.
What do you mean?
Well, first, you have the Chaos Emeralds, and doesn't Chris have a third form? Courtney asked. Suddenly, the orb in the middle of the zone started acting crazy. The world around them started to crumble. Oh, crap! We gotta get out of here! So, yeah, Courtney quickly hopped onto S&T's back as they ran off. Time for some water. Water, water, water. Make the jokes you want. Pages and loading. Come on, try again. Here we. What? We just finished chapter 9. What are you doing? Okay, here we go. Oh, by the way, it is Quickville CWC. We pronounce it as the word quick. Alright? Simple as that. Just like Quick Coliseum. I'm just throwing it out there. Quickville, Quick Coliseum, Quick Cola, Quick everything. Quick Stadium. Quick! Quickly! Down the tubes! I don't know. Alright, so Chapter 10, Quick Escape, Part 1. And now, Quick Escape, Act 1. Sonic, SNT, and Courtney were working their way out of the Chris's imagination. The world around them was quickly turning into a void of nothing, and there was no time to stay. Courtney was on SNT's back as both she and Sonic ran to a circle of bright light. I think I see the end, Sonic said hopefully. Well, let's keep pushing on, Courtney pointed forward. Still, she knew deep in her heart that this wasn't over yet. Sonic and SNT had to avoid flying objects, and the platforms underneath them would crack, forcing them to jump on to stay on track. Wow, this place kind of reminds me of the time I went to Eggman's Interstate Amusement Park and trashed the place, Sonic remarked. Except that we're getting out of a void in mind. Yeah, I played Sonic Colors before, Courtney responded. What's that? Never mind. By the way, Sonic does know about Sonic Colors and all the other video games, so that was a stupid joke. That was moot. At that moment, the path in front of them cracked as a crashing noise assaulted their ears. What crashed through was Chris Sonichu. I'm not done yet! You see that portal in front of you? She then shot a laser at it, and the portal began to close slowly. Oh no! SNT, Sonic, and Courtney feared they might be trapped there forever. I have another surprise! Chris was then surrounded by 7 colored balls, which all gave him immense power. Suddenly, Chris's form changed from that of a Sonichu, and she became more human. Now it looked like she was cosplaying as Sonic and Pikachu with a beard. Why did you go with this? I stopped. The beard thing was out. Why'd you go with this? I knew this wasn't over, Courtney groaned.
What am I going to do?
SNT asked herself. Sonic paused for a second and looked at SNT. SNT, give me the Chaos Emeralds! But she did, and Sonic picked up SNT and Courtney and threw them to the other side to reach the other part of the pathway. You guys go on, I'll take care of Chris.
But Sonic, what did you need?
Don't worry about me, just go! The portal is closing! SNT and Courtney glanced at each other and ran onward. Chris looked at Sonic. You're taking quite a risk there to make them just leave you. Yeah, I know that. I'm just keeping my friends safe. Sonic blushed, thinking of SNT. You ready to rock? Sonic was then surrounded by the Chaos Emeralds, and he transformed into a golden hedgehog. He was now Super Sonic. Let's dance, Sonic proclaimed. The two opponents then dived right into each other and hit each other's fists at once. The punches were so powerful you could feel it from a distance. Meanwhile, SNT and Courtney approached the portal.
Almost there!
They jumped through the portal together, and on the other side, they found themselves in Chris's messy room. Courtney hit a bookshelf, and SNT landed on the bed. All the books on the shelf, along with the games and action figures, fell on Courtney with a crash. Ouch. SNT quickly got off the bed and helped Courtney back on her feet. Thanks, Courtney said. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna say this the joke way of saying. Well, well, well. Snoopingus yo, I see. Said a familiar voice, segment appeared from around the corner. You're not doing a very good job of it.
Man.
Don't worry about it. I come in peace, Segment responded, hoping not to get attacked. I'm wondering, where the hell are we? I believe we are in Christian's room, Courtney stated. This is the place where she writes all the comics and her imagination comes together. SNT looked back at the closet where the portal that was slowly closing.
We need to go back for Sonic.
What do you mean? Courtney asked. I'm sure Sonic will be fine, just like every game he's in. I know he won't, I said from directly outside the window. Everybody in the room turned to gaze to me.
It's you.
Courtney up.
Please let me out of this story.
Now, Courtney, you're still useful at this point, I retorted. Back to what I was saying. Spoiler alert, Sonic will not win.
What do you mean?
Sonic will be beaten by Christian, no questions asked. The end! I explained. SNT grabbed me by the shirt front.
Why would you write something like that? Please change it and let Sonic win.
You know what? I'm gonna intervene at this. I grabbed the author from behind as well. I grabbed the other side of the shirt. SNT looks at me in shock. It's like,
what?
Christian, except not in a form as she had seen me just now, but in a form where I'm in my Sonichu form, but also wearing a helmet, a gray one-piece, shin guard covers, and you can see bright, luminescent C's on my back. And I got rocket posters on my feet. This is me, Christian Sonichu, in my CPU form. The original from Dimension 1218 and C197. Shit, I had trouble with names. I can't remember. OpusCon, there it is. Now I remember his name. OpusCon, what the freak is going on with you, man? Why did you write this? I'd be like, I too want to punch you right in the face, you freaking bastard. Writing all this just to set Courtney and Chris and tee up like this, an alternate version of me. I feel like I want to pop you on the head, you freaking bastard. Now you write them out of the story right this instant. Or I'm gonna come around with that and slap you silly. Give him a one punch. His head turned and snapped, but not quite. Killing him, he's still alive. A deep breeze. And then I suddenly said, wow, what a way to reclaim this story. Or at least to try to, anyway. I can't believe I actually summoned you here, of all things. I can go back in time. I could do so many things. I'm a literal goddess. CPU of Commodore consoles and the nation of Kwikville also merged with the nation of Comma. But aside from that, hope has gone! Well, regardless, it's already too late for me to try to write them out. As the story has already been written, what I'm saying is that Sonic will be defeated because the simple fact that Sonic has weaknesses. This Chris, apparently not you, not me. Yeah, I have my faults. That one has his faults. Just about every other Christian has their faults, especially because of the frackin' autism. Well, regardless, that Chris, I did not write that Chris any faults, even autism. Forget the autism of that one. That Chris is a Mary Sue. In fact, so much of Mary Sue, he's powerful enough as colossal Christian Sonichu to take down Sonic. Elaborated. And then Courtney goes on. You made up this fictitious logic. I said, when? Didn't you? Courtney asked. Yeah, kinda, I admitted. I'm also doing a little favor by giving someone else here the spotlight. Have you ever seen Pokemon Ranger in the Temple of the Sea? Yeah, I have, Courtney responded. Eggman and SNT had no idea what we were talking about. You know, what do you expect? They don't play 3D. They don't typically play video games at this point. But at least Sonic is aware about the games he's in. Because Sega contacts him and everything. But aside from that, yeah, do you remember how that movie ended, Courtney? I asked. Yeah, clearly, Courtney responded, and then realized where this conversation was going. And then that made me feel a little bit more furious than Opus Con. And I ripped his shirt so hard I ended up pinching his chest. Ow. Personally, I think the movie is good up until the ending I mentioned. This fanfiction will end similarly, but we'll be basically asking the question how I would have written Temple of the Sea's ending. You came all this way from your house in... Courtney tried to figure out where he lived. Where he lived. Opus Con. Which he never told her. That's it, I said. Yeah, thanks. How'd you get to Virginia so quickly? Courtney asked. I have magical writing powers. I can simply write myself in, and there I am, I answered. Of course you can. Just like I can write myself in while I'm reading this. You freaking fucking. Stop it, Grant! You're nagging me! You put him through so much freaking inconveniences and bullshit, Opus Con! How could I not want to shake you?
You don't have time to be fighting with the writer. We've got to go in and save Sonic.
Yes, I do agree, SNT. You do need to do that. Seriously, I've read this thing to the end right now, so... Yep, you gotta do that. You have to do that. That's definitely how you get around this guy's plot twist! Well, why can't we just kill the writer? Courtney wondered aloud. Because I won't write that thing. Because I won't write that. Do I need to remind you who's in control here? I retorted. Well, that's all from me. Bye. And then I wrote myself out of the story. You're not getting away from me that easily. I'm after you. I know where you live. You're in Texas. I got you in a major grip, Opus Con. You're not getting away from me. You will be punished. Oh, crap. I'll deal with you another time. And then I sent him flying. He feels it in his soul directly and heavily. Even as right at the moment I pushed him away, he's suddenly feeling it back where he is in Texas. Right here, right now, this very moment, this tape, February 11th, 2020. I mean, shoot, what is it, like, 9:23, probably like, Texas. Is that Central or Mountain Time? Well, anyway, it's either 8 or 7. I feel like it's Mountain Time, so I'm good with that. Anyway. Alright, well, anyway, I'm sorry for intruding, but I can only do so much in support of this.
Well, that's okay.
SNT replied.
So, you're the real Chris Chan.
Yes, the one threat from the real world dimension 1218 that's literally neighbors with C197 where you're from, and Courtney, the SNT where you and I from.
What, really?
Yes. All this is real. What part of that did you not understand now by you being SNT in this fated event? When this happened about a year or two ago? Or at least when you read up to the end of chapter 7 nearly a year ago. What are you talking about?
Oh, I just got it! The memory caught up to me,
Courtney said. Alright, well, no confusion of this. SNT, you need to go save Sonic. I gotta go. I'm out. All of you take care. You all will do well. Just go thinking that. And Eggman, I'm coming after you. You stop attacking Kwikville. I will come after you amongst the common foes we have. Giovanni's going down too, not to mention freaking Jacoba. Courtney looked at Eggman. I know you wouldn't normally agree to this, but will you help us save Sonic? Saving Sonic? As much as I hate that blue hedgehog behind, without him, it's not fun to have an arch nemesis. I'm going in. Eggman, SNT, and Courtney high-fived each other. Meanwhile, inside the portal, Chris and Sonic were clashing over and over again as Sonic tried to keep him at bay. Chris tried to tackle Sonic as Sonic tried to boost into him. They clashed in the middle and kept pushing each other back. Sonic needed to really hurry though, because it didn't seem that Chris was going down anytime soon. One thing that Sonic relied on was to stay super was his rings. The rings provided power and protection for Sonic, and the Chaos Emeralds used up the rings in every second that passed. That was a problem. After fighting Chris for a long time, he was running out of rings. If he ran out, he would lose. It seemed like Chris didn't rely on rings. Yeah, pretty much on Chaos Energy and the long time and the amount of time the battle goes on. Because you see from the Chaotic Rainbow, it's literally composed of the Chaos Emerald energy and a bunch of us Sonichus and Rosechus, counting the Sonichu and Rosechu primes at either end, filled with Chaos Energy. So to use Chaos Emeralds, or in this case the SU balls that later broke apart and became the Megastones of Sonichites and Rosechites, Rosechites. Excuse me. So essentially, when you go super chaos form, it's just essentially as long as the battle goes on. So not too much of a reliance on rings, but you still need a break between times of usage. Anyway, yeah, he just happened to have unlimited power or something that Sonic had never seen the likes of before. Sonic kept pushing on. Chris then boosted into Sonic as Sonic started to push back and struggle. Chris seemed to be winning this fight against his lifelong hero. Sonic thought to himself, how could this happen to me? I always save the day, so why am I failing? Am I just too weak? At that moment, Sonic ran out of rings, lost his super phone, and was blown back by Christine. I'm sorry, Sonic. That really hurts, I know. I feel you there. He fell onto the platform with the chaos arrows that had been ripped out of him landing around him. Sonic, I thought you were a lot stronger than that. Considering the fact that I play all your games, that you always seem to win at the end, I can't believe you were unable to beat me. Sonic tried to stand up, but just fell back to the ground. I have failed. That's okay, Sonic. Now you can be another citizen of Kwikville, and I will treat you well, and you will forever live there for the rest of your life. Chris laughed, knowing that it would be no good for him to have Sonic live in his... It would be good to have him have... Chris, knowing that it would be good for him to have Sonic live in his city.
No!
Got a familiar voice. Chris turned around right into SNT's fist that slammed into his face.
Sonic will be coming home with me.
Chris took a second to try to regroup with himself while Courtney and Eggman picked up Sonic. You're gonna be okay, Sonic, Courtney reassured him. Eggman has some first aid for you. SNT went to where Sonic laid and picked up all the Chaos Emeralds. By then, Chris recouped her strength. She glared at SNT. You think you could just slap me like that in my super form?
Yes! Because I'm the closest character to what you define as perfect.
And then again, you had to ask.
Very soon. Because she's the definition of perfect where pink is perfect. Wait, why am I being brought into this story? Oh, hello. Hi there. Who are you?
SNT asked.
I'm Mary Sue. Here's my Mad Munchkin. Mad Munchkin? Oh, this is getting too convoluted. What the hell are we doing here? Yeah, I know. I'm just popping in because I'm a random thing that pops up now and then. What's up, Mary Sue? I gotta go out and I gotta go hang out with Gary Stu, my hubby, and our son. Alright, bye.
Mary Sue left.
What?
Thanks a lot, Mary Sue. Why did you have to do that to me? Defined is perfect. Courtney looked at Eggman. Eggman, just make sure. Okay. Oh, I get it now, Courtney is saying. SNT is also a Mary Sue. The writer gave her flaws to make her more relatable, but he can write those flaws out easily. SNT is the only one that can defeat Chris. SNT then started the emeralds orbiting around herself as her fur turned golden and yellow, and a yellow energy glowed from her eyes. She met Courtney's gaze.
Take Sonic out of here and leave before the portal closes.
But SNT, Eggman started to say, she should come as well.
Just do it!
They both followed the order. SNT turned to address Chris.
Okay, Chris. I'm the one you want. So if you want to play, I will. I'm the one that broke you. And now you can have all the fun you want and take me down. Come at me!
With pleasure. Chris smiled. They headbutted each other, and the final fight began. Chapter 11, Quick Escape, Part 2. I need water. I need to refill this bottle. Take all the chokes you want. At least I'm not losing water. Okay, there's another joke right there. Hey. Yeah, I'm okay, hubby. You alright? Alright, thank you both. Alright, back to this thing. Quick escape. Quick escape. Act final. SNT and Chris clashed in the middle, releasing a shockwave of energy between two of the most powerful OC characters ever created. Chris then started to back off a little as they both floated in a void of nothingness, representing Chris's world that was now destroyed. You did all this to me, and now I can get back at you. A large ball of light appeared in his hand. And now I can pay you back. Kamehameha! The laser shot out, but he missed because SNT was able to dodge in time.
This is why you don't stand in front of your enemies.
She then attacked Chris with a head-butting boost. The impact threw Chris flying into the air, but she eventually regained control of herself. Chris then disappeared briefly, and then reappeared to shoot balls of light all over the stage. These balls didn't do SNT any harm if they hit her, but they did really slow her movement temporarily. SNT then tried some of Shadow's moves.
Chaos Blast!
It hit Chris directly as the explosive waves traveled across the dimension. The damage was nuclear. While Courtney and Eggman were taking Sonic out, they felt the wave take them off their feet and damage the platform they were on. Wow, that was intense, Courtney said, landing back on her feet. The energy of the battle is very high, Eggman confirmed. SNT isn't a very hard battle, but I can feel both of them fighting to the end. Courtney then looked across the dimension. SNT, be careful. Chris quickly recovered and then performed a thunder attack, which had the same effect on SNT as his light balls. It just slowed her down. Everything felt like a rock to her. Next, Chris surrounded himself with an electric ball and attempted to run to SNT. It became a chase through the air. SNT tried to get away, but they both moved at the same speed. She had to avoid debris or she would be slowed down and eventually be hit by Chris-chan. This was one of the more powerful attacks. Chris then took the electric ball around her and threw it at SNT. SNT headbutted it and pushed it as it was getting ready to explode. She managed to hit it hard enough to crash it back into Chris, who received the explosion. They then engaged each other in direct combat and threw punches at each other at such unbelievably fast speed that their fists blurred. As an observer, you couldn't tell what was going on. Chris eventually ended up winning the fist fight by placing both hands on SNT's head and slamming her down. Chris then teleported to SNT's position and kicked her. Just like that, it was like SNT was playing ball with her. SNT eventually caught on and made a fist to punch Chris, which worked. Chris was then thrown back, but she quickly regained control and went for a hyper beam. SNT flew around the attack, and since the hyper beam took a lot of power, she used this to get attacks on Christine. SNT then kicked her and threw her back. Pretty good. You're doing better than what Sonic gave me. But I could just end this fight so easily. Chris said, boasted, laughing.
What do you mean, Miss?
T asked, annoyed. Because I'm only using half my power.
Half?
SNT just realized what she got into.
That sounds familiar.
Check this out. Just like that, Chris started creating a ball in his hands. This required the surroundings to be sucked into the black hole that Chris was making. Every rock, item, and platform were compressed into the large ball forming in his hands. The attack absorbed everything to the point that there was nothing left. The world that SNT and Chris had inhabited was now black nothingness. SNT realized that the attack would be no joke. Chris went on a rant. This is the end, SNT. You have fought hard and well, all just to see it end. Just like every girl. You always got Sonic to protect you. But this time, Sonic isn't here to protect you. Every girl has always relied on guys. You should have done the same. She then threw the ball at SNT, who brought up her hands to block it. SNT cried as she tried to withhold the attack.
This attack is too powerful,
she thought to herself.
I don't think I'll be able to hold off this attack for long. This may be the end.
SNT! A voice spoke in her mind.
is that?
It's Courtney. Listen, I know right now you're in a very intense fight, but I need you to know that you can't give up. I'm relying on you to get through this because I know you will.
But what do you know? Chris is too powerful. He just threw all the power he had at me.
SNT explained. But you used to be him, SNT. You used to be perfect like him, with every flaw that I had along with Side, Tails, and Knuckles. You are my persona, Courtney explained. The writer of the story gave you flaws to make you more relatable for the audience, but I know you can be more powerful than Chris. If you forget the flaws you have gained and use your full power, Chris, I know if you try hard enough, you can win. So don't give up and show Chris what female characters can really do. Show Chris that female characters are just as powerful as male characters. SNT took these words to heart and spoke back to Christine.
I know you think female characters always rely on guys to save us. I know the feeling I'm relying on Side to save me all the time. But in a way, I was more powerful than Side because Courtney portrayed me that way.
What are you trying to say? Chris asked.
But while traveling through this world, I couldn't rely on Side because I was on my own for 90% of the time. I had to make my own decisions by finding all of the characters you created. This world has taught me a lot. Now I can be independent and I don't need to rely on anyone to help me. If this is how you think I should grow as a character in your story, then I want no part of it. Yes, usually female characters always stand back and are always a prize for men to win. But this time, no more. I am the first girl that will defeat you, Chris. And I will have nobody to save me. It's just me and only me. Ah!
SNT then became more powerful. So powerful that she started pushing back the ball Chris had thrown at her. But out! That was my most powerful attack!
Because Chris, I used to be perfect. I used to be unique and most of all, I used to be special just like you. Taking into that account, if everyone was perfect and special, nobody would.
SNT said as she threw the ball back at Chris. No! The screen of the ball returned to him and exploded. The explosion was enough to kick him out of his colossal Christian form and back into his human form. His medallion broke from the impact, along with his high school ring, as the environment around him came back into place as he landed on the platform below. SNT then landed on the platform in front of Chris, held out her hand to lift her upon him. No, I don't need your help.
But Chris, this world is falling apart. We need to get out of here now. There's too little time. The portal's about to close.
No, I hate the real world with all on the other side. I would rather stay in my little world I have created. Chris insisted. SNT took her hand back.
There's a world out there that's bigger than you think. The world we really live in may be depressing, but the people are there with ideas and different ways to make that world better and contribute to our society. They're hiding from the real world, and this one isn't helping. Come with me, and let's get you some help.
No! I refuse to! SNT looked at the portal ahead. She was running out of time.
But
Get out of here, SNT! I don't want to see you ever again! SNT stood there for a second, looking at the portal. SNT, I pop in. I know this is a crucial moment. I pause time right here at this point. Chris, you disappoint me. Wait, what? Who are you? Look at, yeah. That Chris looked at me as I am in my Sonichu and CPU form. As you had seen earlier. I am the Prime. I am the Chris Chance Sonichu Prime of the actual real dimension that you were inspired from. You were made by somebody else. Wait, I was made by somebody else? And yet you are a self-counterpart to me. You exist because of me, mainly and first and foremost. Though somebody has created and depicted you with other aspects, as you may as well know. Wait, that's right. I do recall. But wait, this puts me in perspective. My world was created by somebody else, and yet I was inspired by you. You're the Prime. That means you are the one true Chris Chance Sonichu. Yep, I nodded. Back at him. Oh, sorry, Chris. You should rethink your life and your choices. Make up your mind. You need to reevaluate yourself. You have a chance to recreate your world at this point. You gotta get your act together. Go SNT, go through the portal now. I tell SNT looking at her.
Okay.
So she stood there looking at the portal and ran off. Originally leaving Chris to the collapsing world, but yet I was with him. She was still in her super form as the portal was almost closed. I'll give you a hand if you find out, if you start helping yourself merrily. I tell Chris, you're telling me all this. I'm like trying to encourage myself. Do I listen to myself? I don't listen to anybody else outside. And yet you are from the real world. Should I listen to myself from the real world? We don't call it the real world. My dimension number is 1218. And I exist from a dimension known as C197. Both of your quote real and this inside your mind dimensions are different, vastly. You're a distant self counterpart to me, and yours is a self-distant dimension from mine. Both of mine, as I exist in both of those dimensions. How can you? You're so restricted with your reality's rules and everything. I make do, and I get by. With a little help from my Sonichu, my Rosie Rosechu, my Magic Chan, and everyone else. And those of my world, both dimensions as well. You could do the same thing to better yourself. I heed you to listen to yourself. I'd say, Chris, and get him away from all the rocks and debris. I put him on a platform and tell Chris, take your time. Think about it. You have the abilities, you have your own powers. You're not a deity like me. You're a long way from that. For this particular alt dimension and timeline. It'll take you a whole lot longer to even reach what I have reached. And lots of self-development for real. I'll leave you now. Recover your world. Both of your dimensions, put yourself back together, make yourself better. Do you understand me? Chris Sonichu. Yeah, I think I do. Very good. And then I teleport out and come back to my dimension here. Chris puts herself back together and soon rebuilds her dimension and gets herself on the better track of things. Meanwhile, SNT zoomed as fast as she could, avoiding Roxanne's debris toward the exit. Barely anything was left of the portal, and SNT realized that she might never make it. She reached out a hand to the portal and stuck her head through. Everybody in Chris's room noticed. SNT! Let's get her out, Courtney said. She grabbed SNT's hand and started pulling as the portal grew tighter and tighter. Everyone lined up and insisted in pulling her out. SNT used all her strength to pull through, and at the last moment she popped out of the portal and it closed behind her. SNT got through the final act, ranked SS
Super special.
Courtney hugged SNT happily. You made it in time! Excuse me. What happened to Chris? Sonic asked.
Well, I tried to offer to help him, but he refused to come with me.
SNT said sadly. Listen, Courtney knelt down. Sometimes you will find people who will believe in something that doesn't work for anyone. And they believe it to the point that it becomes part of their values. Once that happens, they are too far gone. And anything that conflicts with their beliefs is ignored or dismissed. You can't help people if they are not open-minded to change. Chris, it's just one of these cases. We just couldn't help him. We just have to let him do what he wants to do, whether it gets him in trouble or not. Maybe walked in. So, there's nothing we can do to help that particular Chris. Courtney nodded, disappointed. We just have to let him destroy his own life. We can't help him otherwise. Everyone nodded and agreed. Suddenly, Palkia roared in the room. Roar! SNT looked at the dragon.
What are you doing here?
Palkia roared again.
Roar!
And as the room around them started to disappear, taking everyone with it. SNT opened her eyes. She ended up laying on a field of grass. She sat up on the grass, soft grass, to see Sonic. Hey, you awake yet?
What happened?
We are in the Green Hill Zone. I think we're back where we started. Yes, indeed. Sonic, SNT, and Eggman were back in Dimension C197, and meanwhile, Courtney had returned to Dimension 1218 where she was. SNT smiled.
It's over. That's all about our adventure. I have learned a lot.
I can tell, Sonic nodded. But now, we are all alone.
Yeah, funny.
SNT laughed at that moment. Sonic and SNT locked eyes with each other. They couldn't hold back their love for each other as they slowly grew closer.
I can't hold back this feeling.
SNT thought to herself,
Finally, a kiss with Sonic.
Just when they were about to kiss, Sonic felt a hammer hit him from behind.
Cheating on me, huh, Sonic?
Sonic turned and looked behind. Amy! I didn't expect you to be here.
Why, you?
Amy took off running after Sonic, a large hammer in her hand. Amy, please, I don't want to trouble you. Sonic ran for his life.
Don't you dare get close to SNT ever again!
Amy yelled. SNT couldn't help but laugh at the situation. That was so funny.
Yep. Everything's back to normal now.
Meanwhile, in Dimension 1218, the sun was starting to rise over Courtney's home as she found herself once again lying in her bed. Wow, that was a crazy dream. Oh, just a crazy dream. So I think. She then went to her computer to check on the escort. Yep, it was successful. She smiled. She shared the memory of her dream with her friends on Discord. Wow, that's crazy, Spencer remarked. I know, I don't think I'll have another dream like that ever again, Courtney replied. I like the part where SNT hit Chris to defend you, Meredith said. Courtney remembered it. It all felt so real, though. Why would I put my character in a Sonichu story? To be honest, they're all kind of similar, Cedric noted. Yeah, if you think about it, they're not too far off, Mason agreed. Mim, Joe, 1, 2, 3 then joined the conversation. Chris does have a history of adding OC characters to the Sonichu canon and then keeping them there. For the record, I don't. They already existed there, along with everybody else. As I had mentioned earlier, Dimension C197, everybody exists and coexists together. That'll be really funny to have SNT as a Sonichu character, Broadcaster laughed. Yeah, but this is my character, and I don't think I would ever let that happen, Courtney remarked. I'm afraid it has happened. It's been happening. It has happened. It cannot be helped. Saki arrived. You know, it's not such a bad idea just to put that on the back burner and think about it later. Okay, Courtney agreed. Okay. Later in C197, Sonic and SNT were surrounded by Eggman's minions. Everywhere they looked, it seemed that there was no way out. Sonic, SNT, game over. Prepare to be finished. Sonic then smirked with a glance at SNT. Hey, how about let's show them what true power really is about? SNT nodded. They both jumped in the air, high-fived each other, got to a spin dash position, and they yelled together, "Double boost!" And just like that, everything that had been in their way was no more. No! Eggman cried, frustrated. SNT, give him the final hit!
I got it!
SNT responded. She leapt into the air and began dealing the final blow as everything went to white.
Gee, after being in that Chris's world, I became more independent. I relied on Sonic a lot less. Even if that Chris didn't learn anything, he taught me a lot more than I was capable of. With all that, I just want to say, thank you. No, wait a minute. Nothing right at the moment. I mean, in one way, I'm thinking that particular Chris-chan, but in another way, I'm not thinking the original Chris-chan that exists where Courtney exists. So, oh well. Thank you, Chris-chan Sonichu.
The end. And I did take a look at chapter 12. That's just a whole bunch of author's notes. I'm not going to go into that because that's a TL did read But yeah, he said, but thank you for reading Opus from OpusCon 789. But yeah, OpusCon, genuine feelings. I gave up money when I had you on my hand and forcing you back into your house just then. Anyway, that's it. SNT Vs Sonichu. The story has been read from start to finish between Courtney, Saki, and Zendrin, and myself. So, thank you all for watching and enjoying this video despite the interruptions and everything. And I was fun to read initially, but myself at least the remainder. After listening to Courtney, the other Saki, and Zendrin read them, and I don't mean to be doxing anybody, but they already gave their full names and so forth, yada yada yada. Anyway, yes, Courtney, it's all very much real. I've been there. I've been in many dimensions, seriously. Oh, wait. And believe it or not, Courtney, SNT is going to come into 1218 fully. She's going to hang out with you and help you out a lot. So, look positively forward to that. So, that was Sonichu versus SNT, or SNT versus Sonichu. That was that. Completely read. And I am Chris Chan. Here's Magic Chan. Here's Chris L. Oh boy. Whew, I'm tired. Reading all that. Thank you all for watching this stream. Bonus if I got a whole bunch of donations for all this. So, thank you all for watching and have a great, safe, awesome day. Zap it up to the extreme! Hey, where's the thing? Where's the thing?